Hello, fellow wine lovers, and welcome to Wine with Me. I'm your host, Jean-Pscal, and this is part 3 of our 5-episode series on the white wines of Burgundy. On this video, we are looking at the village level once again, however, a little more specific within the village. We're talking about a lieu-dit. A lieu-dit is a plot of land that has not been classified into Premier Cru or Grand Cru, and usually refers to a historical or geological feature of the place. So you can learn quite a bit about that culture and the location if you study the name of that lieu-dit. The wine in question. This is Jean-Pascal et Fils Puligny-Montrachet is the village. Les Enseignères is the lieu-dit, and 2016. I'm very excited to try this wine because Les Enseignères is right across the street from some of the greatest Grand Cru vineyards of Burgundy in Puligny-Montrachet. So right across from Montrachet and Bienvenue Montrachet. Which the soil is, the topographical feature is a little more on a slope, a little higher elevation, so you get a better drainage there, and limestone dominant soil. Across the street on the Les Enseignères lieu-dit, you have a clay-based soil and a little bit more of a flat land. So it retains a little more water, right? Which can be good and not so good, depending on the vintage. Talking about vintages, 2016, how was it? So if you got in Burgundy between July and September, you would think it was the same as 2015. Hot, dry, beautiful, great development of flavors on the fruit, but there weren't that many fruit in the vines. And the reason is because in the spring, you got hit with frost and mildew. It devastated many villages. Marsanne lost up to 90% of their fruit. So it's just absurd. In Meursault, in the Côte de Beaune, houses had to combine to make wine. In fact, Domaine Comte-Lafon, La Flave, Domaine de la Romanée-Conti, L'Ami Pillot, Guy Amillot, and Fleureau La Rose, they all combined to make 2 barrels. That's insane. And for you to have an idea of what that means, this is a barrel. So imagine now 6 big houses combining to make 2 barrels of wine for an entire vintage. It's just unheard of. But again, that's what they got to play with, right? Some of the houses that I spoke with, like Chanson, Bouchard, Drouin, they all said something similar, that in some aspects, 2016 produced even better wines than 2015 because the yields were so low. The vines were able to concentrate more of their flavors into the bunches that they had. But then again, the yields were very low. So if you're able to find a 2016 Burgundy, don't be afraid of buying it because you're supporting those houses that struggled in that vintage, and you're getting good wine as well. So let's get into the wine. As usual, I'll be using the Court of Masters Sommelier's tasting grid in order to keep things fair and objective. You can also follow along by clicking in the link in the description. You can suggest a wine for the next video if you wish by leaving a comment in the comment section. And you can also follow me on Instagram or Twitter. All right, let's get to it. Okay, so this wine has a pale yellow straw concentration. I would say hints of brass and gold, which indicate, again, higher flavonols, higher color concentration because of the heat, because of the summer, the sun. So you get a little more compounds in here. Right, the fruit is ripe. Legs. Medium plus, they are coming down with some heft. And again, it makes sense because of the heat that you got in the summer. Brightness, I'll say the wine is day bright, right? It's not dull. You can clearly see that. You can read through it. It sparkles. It's a beautiful wine. There's no sign of gas or sediment. on the nose. Okay, this is a lively wine. It jumps out of the glass, medium plus intensity. Youthful, again, yes, we know it's 2016, but in comparison to the 2015 Puy that we saw on the last video, it had some oxidation going on, right? It saw quite a bit of used oak, and it had some oxidation there. Here, you can see a little bit of oxidation, you can sense a little bit of oxidation, but not as much as in the previous wine. So yes, youthful, and the fruit is ripe. Everything is really juicy. If I feel like I'm biting into a super ripe and juicy yellow peach, honey crisp apple, ripe pear, pineapple. It's just really beautiful on the nose. There's some floral components here too. Jasmine, honeysuckle, horse chestnuts. It's just very delicate. There's some mushroom characteristic as well. White mushroom, like button mushrooms, beech mushrooms. There is a non-fruit, like an earthy component, a little bit of a chalky characteristic. Imagine like you're writing on a blackboard and that some of the chalk dust, you can smell that. And that's kind of what comes across to me. But it's not dominating. The fruit is absolutely on your face in this wine. There's some evidence of vanilla and nutmeg on the nose, very so slightly. I imagine this wine has seen oak, but I will confirm that on the palate. That's a complex wine. Okay, it is bone dry, yet the fruit is ripe. Full body, going again with that characteristic of ripeness. The fruit is a little more tart on the palate. Granny Smith now tastes like, Honey Crisp now tastes like Granny Smith. The yellow peach is more like white peach and just ripe, not as juicy. Pineapple, a little more underripe, a little tart. The flowers are still there. Jasmine, honeysuckle, a little bit of a orange blossom as well. There's a nutty characteristic. There's a little bit of a very lightly roasted almonds. Beech mushrooms, button white mushrooms, and then the vanilla. Vanilla is definitely a little more prominent on the palate than it was on the nose. I would absolutely believe that this wine has seen oak, but not a lot. Maybe 20% new oak, the rest on used oak, just to oxidate it a little bit and add a little bit more complexity to this wine. Really well balanced. There's a little bit of a phenolic bitterness to the wine. Imagine like biting into a lemon seed. That kind of bitterness. That again just added to the structures, that add to the complexity of the wine. Alcohol, medium plus. This is definitely showing signs of a hot vintage with nice development. However, the star of this wine is the acidity. As soon as I took a sip on this wine, my mouth just gushed with water, which means it is a super food-friendly wine. I couldn't see anything better for this wine than dinner with coq au vin, which is a classic dish from Burgundy, a chicken dish. You can also do this with a quail, a pan-seared quail with potato gratin. Or if you want a little more flavor, poitrine de porc, which is pork belly with some vegetables, very summer friendly. Of course, this is a summer friendly wine, but that acidity is just beautiful. If you want a cheese board with this wine, goat cheese. I couldn't see why not. Some goat cheese, chèvre, some also creamy, cream center, soft center cheeses like brie would go really well with this wine. finish is long. I still taste this wine, and I haven't taken a sip in a while. And like I said, high complexity. This is a very cool wine. I hope you get the chance to try it and enjoy it as much as I am. So cheers. Thank you so very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.